Hi, I'm JH, and in this video I'll be discussing about the 2022 Spanish Grand Prix, the 6th round of the 2022 F1 season. Please note that everything I said is based on facts and of course my own opinion. So, without further ado, let's start the video. First of all, let's see some of the interesting rumors and news that have been going on before the Spanish Grand Prix. Well, first, Aston Martin has tested some interesting version of their cars. And yeah, like you expected, the FIA immediately launched an investigation. Because, I don't know, it looks like a certain team's car. Oh, and there is also a bunch of young drivers that are testing in free practices this week, and there's a chance for F1 to return to South Africa. Now, let's get into the race performance. Another fantastic performance by the Red Bulls, gaining a 1-2 and fastest lap. Max did have that slip on lap 9, supposedly caused by the wind. Also had some DRS issues that caused him to struggle on getting past Russell, but he drove well and had a good pace. And Leclerc's unfortunate power loss also helped. In the end, he still win the race. Oh, and this also means that Max is now leading the Drivers' Championship over Charles. As for Sergio, I'd say he did a great job. He did take the lead due to Verstappen's pit stop and slip, but let's be real, his pace isn't good enough to remain first. Nevertheless, he still got P2 and fastest lap as well. So yeah, great job. I guess they're not that after all. Another week, another solid Mercedes performance. Russell had a great start and managed to hold Verstappen behind for quite some time and had a solid pace. He made no major errors and finished P3. Once again, above Lewis. Speaking of Lewis, he actually performed very well after the puncture due to the left tap of Kevin Magnussen, storming from the back positions to P5 in the end. He even could finish higher, but a reported power unit issue forced him to take it easy. Overall, a very solid recovery drive. Good job. Ferrari, oh Ferrari. At the beginning of the weekend, it seems that you are set to dominate this weekend. Despite securing pole and for the early part of the race managed to lead comfortably in the front, on lap 28 Charles had a power failure which resulted in a retirement. As for Carlos, he did his signature gravel dive on lap 7, then had a fairly solid drive and finished P4, but that's due to Lewis being told to back off and Valtteri's questionable pit stop. Overall, a not so good weekend for the Ferrari team. Once again, Bottas did very well both in qualifying and race. I think he could finish higher than P6 if Alpha isn't so stubborn with their pit strategy, but well, it's still a great result for him. On the other side, once again, after a quali session in which he is slower by a second to his teammate, Zhou retired due to technical issues. Well, it's still a decent points haul for the team, so good job I guess. Ocon did very well on the early part of the race. Good pace and also some overtaking actions, though after he got behind Bottas, things kinda got stagnant. He can't really got past Bottas but still solid enough to not lose position and ended up finishing P7. Alonso also had a great early race, then seems to be comfortably settling in P9. Anyway, I think it's quite a decent result for the French team. Not really a great week for McLaren. Lando, despite struggling with sickness, still managed to finish P8 with a fairly strong drive, considering his circumstances. Daniel, however, struggled throughout the race and finished outside of the points. Yeah, tough weekend for the McLaren team. Yuki had another solid weekend, decent pace and didn't commit any fatal mistakes, finishing within the points position in addition to outperforming his teammate. Speaking of his teammate, Gasly had a fairly poor weekend, outclassed by Yuki, and the incident with Stroll buried his chance of getting in the points position. Overall, a difficult result for the team. I guess their upgrade package worked to a certain degree. It's still not enough to score points though. Vettel outqualified Stroll by more than half a second in quali, and had a moderately fine race with no major errors, finishing P11 barely outside of the points. Stroll on the other hand didn't do that well, outclassed by Vettel for the whole weekend, and the incident with Gasly resulted in a P14 finish. All in all, a disappointing result for the Aston Martins. They did exceptionally well in quali with both cars entering Q3, but the positive result didn't continue on the race. Mick had an excellent start, even running as high as 6th at one point, but then he seems to struggle a bit and the questionable pit strategy also didn't really help him. He ended up finishing P14. On the other side of the garage, Magnussen also didn't have the best race. His highlight being the love tap with Hamilton. I think maybe there's some damage due to the accident, but well, he ended up finishing P17. Overall, a very disappointing weekend for the American team. My god, it finally happened. Latifi outperformed Albon in this race. I mean, he didn't really do anything else, but still, it's an achievement of its own for Latifi, even finishing ahead of Magnussen as well. Wow. He still finished P15, so no points. On the other side, Albon had a tough race, shown by getting outperformed by Latifi. There is also the fact that he did 4 stops on this race, but still not a very good performance by the Thai driver. He finished P18 in the end. Another week, another tough result for the Williams team. My best driver for this race is Lewis Hamilton. Despite the initial accident, he managed to rapidly rise up from almost last in the race to P5. He even could do better if not because of the reported power unit issue that caused him to back off. Overall, a fantastic performance by the 7-time world champion. Here's the standings after the 6th round. Anyway, yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you like it, please share, like, and subscribe. See you in the next video, and yeah, have a nice day.